welcome to another podcast from Intrepid English. My name is Kate and I'm an English teacher here at Intrepid English. Today I'm going to talk about adverbs of frequency. I'm going to explain what exactly adverbs of frequency are and how to use them. This podcast is the second in a series of podcasts all about adverbs. If you haven't already, make sure you check out part 1, where Tom explained some common adverbs of place and how to use them. And stay tuned for more adverb podcasts coming soon. An adverb is a word which modifies or qualifies a verb, adjective, or other adverb. For example, he always drinks tea in the mornings. In this example, always is the adverb. It modifies the verb drink and it tells us how often the subject does the action. This is an adverb of frequency. An adverb of frequency describes just that: how frequently, how often, or how many times we do something. Let's look at some adverbs of frequency and some example sentences. As a general rule, we place adverbs of frequency before the main verb, but if we are using the verb to be, the adverb of frequency goes after the verb to be. Let's look at some examples. Always. They always clean the house on Sundays. Do you always eat cereal for breakfast? Almost always. He's almost always late to class. Usually. I usually take the bus to school. Do you usually go swimming on weekends? Often or frequently. We often bump into Sam working at this cafe. They are frequently tired in the mornings because they almost always go to bed late. Sometimes. I sometimes eat pancakes for breakfast. Occasionally. I occasionally misplace my keys. Hardly ever, almost never. She hardly ever eats meat. Never. I have never seen that movie. If you head on over to the blog post, which you can find in the episode notes, you'll see that there's a useful image showing the different adverbs of frequency and their meanings. Adverbial expressions. We can also use some adverbial expressions to describe how often we do something. Once, twice, 3 times, etc. A day, week, month, year, etc. For example, Jake goes to basketball practice 3 times a week. The dogs eat twice a day. Ollie doesn't really like clubbing. He only goes out once in a blue moon. Every day, week, month, year, etc. George speaks to his parents every day. The employees are paid every month. Much, a lot. We use a lot in affirmative sentences, and we can use both a lot and much in negative sentences. For example, they love this restaurant. They eat here a lot. We don't go to the cinema much. We prefer to watch movies at home. Asking questions with adverbs of frequency. We can use several adverbs of frequency in questions. We use always, usually, and sometimes between the subject and the main verb. For example, do you always go to this yoga class? Do you usually finish work at 5 p.m? Do they sometimes order takeaway? We can use often, much, or a lot at the end of a question. For example, does she forget her homework often? Do they go to the gym a lot? Do you go running much? Ever. To ask if an action has taken place or takes place regularly, we can ask questions with ever. Ever is often used with the present perfect tense. For example, have you ever eaten Mexican food? Have you ever visited Europe? Do you ever daydream at work? How often? If we want to ask for the frequency of an action, we ask with how often. For example, how often do you see your cousins? Not very often. I see them once or twice a year. How often is this program on? It's on a lot, every night at 7 p.m. How often do you eat at this restaurant? Not much. We occasionally eat here on special occasions. If you'd like to practice these adverbs and adverbial expressions a little more, you can head on over to the blog post, which you can find in the episode notes, and there are some practice exercises for you to complete there. You can post your answers in the comments section, or you can send us a message in the green chat box on our website and we'll get back to you. Also, if you have any questions about the website, about Intrepid English in general, booking lessons, the Intrepid English community, joining group classes, or studying any of the courses in the Intrepid English Academy, you can ask the chat box. If you'd prefer to talk to us directly, you can book a free trial lesson to discuss your English goals with an experienced and friendly Intrepid English teacher, who will help you to plan a learning strategy that's right for you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Intrepid English podcast. We are very close to 100 episodes of the Intrepid English podcast, which we're really excited about. We will be celebrating our 100th episode very soon, so don't miss out. There will be a secret message inside our 100th episode, and you could be one of the lucky winners. This content was written and recorded by Intrepid English teacher Kate. You can find out more about me on my Intrepid English teacher profile page. If you have any questions or would like to request a topic for a future podcast, you can post it on any of our social media pages, use the green chat box, or email lorraine@intrepidenglish.co.uk. Thank you for listening and have a great day.